everyone, a very good evening and a very warm welcome to the session. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine and amazingly well, taking good care of yourselves and your loved ones. Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar, Bonjour, Adab. Let's get started with our chapter of globalization. The good news is we don't have to do the entire chapter. I'm not sure if that necessarily is a good news. But the thing is, bache, that the boards have clearly prescribed that the entire session will not be assessed for your annual exam. पूरा चैप्टर आपके एनुअल एग्जाम में नहीं पूछा जाएगा. इट विल जस्ट बी certain portions of this chapter of globalization, which is what is globalization and the factors which enabled globalization. These are the two topics. Those two topics will be finished in today's session. आज के सेशन में उन्हीं दो टॉपिक्स को हम करेंगे पूरा. So what I have planned for you is that today I'll be doing the topics in very much detail of what will be asked and assessed in your board exams. And tomorrow I'm going to do a one shot of the entire chapter if you want to read and learn about it. तो कल वन शॉट का सेशन होगा. आज बोर्ड का स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक जो है वो उठा करके मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ. So the chapter, the session today is called What is Globalization? We are taking up the topics which is going to be asked in your board exams. Let me on that note quickly introduce myself. Hi बच्चों, मेरा नाम अंकना है और मैं हूँ आपकी expert for social sciences at Embibe. I come with an experience of more than 9 years in the field of education, where I have done my studies in humanities, taught the students both online and offline for CBSE and ICSE. And I specialize in social science and English. ठीक है. अब इस चैप्टर की अगर बात करते हैं तो चैप्टर में तो वैसे बहुत कुछ है. मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी, उनका प्रोडक्शन, हाउ डज दैट फंक्शन, बट दिस एक्चुअली हैज नॉट बीन इंक्लूडेड इन आवर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स. What has been included is what is globalization and the enabling factors of the globalization. वही हम आज करेंगे. तो टॉपिक्स में भी हमने exactly वही उठाया है. ग्लोबलाइजेशन क्या है, टेक्नोलॉजी का रोल क्या है, इंफॉर्मेशन और कम्युनिकेशन का रोल क्या है, ट्रेड बैरियर क्या होता है, व्हाट यू मीन बाय लिबरलाइजेशन, व्हाट आर SEZs. ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है, इससे कई बार सवाल पूछे गए हैं. एंड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी इन लेबर लॉज एंड द वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. All of these things we'll be talking about today. So let's get started. Now on that note, hi Noor, Aisha, who else do we have here? Hi everyone, good evening. So as I was telling you, bachcho, because globalization from your board's perspective is going to be completely covered in details today in the next 50 minutes. Please make sure that you go ahead and share the link of the session with your friends or invite them to the session. उनको सेशन में इनवाइट कर लो ताकि हम जब शुरू करें तो कहीं पे भी कुछ उनका मेजर मिस ना हो जाए. सो ऑन दैट नोट आई विल गेट स्टार्टेड विद दिस सेशन. रिमेंबर गेटिंग एक्साइटेड वॉचिंग मूवीज अबाउट द फ्यूचर. फ्यूचर के बारे में जब हम मूवीज देखते थे तो आपको याद है sci-fi movies and all of that must be very exciting for you. Hi Amartya, hi Lisa, who else do we have here? बच्चे sorry I could not read your chat earlier. कौन कौन से बच्चे हैं यहाँ पे? वेरी गुड इवनिंग एंड अ वेरी वार्म वेलकम. हाय प्रखर एंड अंकित, गुड इवनिंग एंड वेरी वार्म वेलकम टू द सेशन. हाय प्रशांत, गुड इवनिंग बच्चे. एनीवेज, कमिंग बैक, अ लॉट ऑफ मूवीज वी वॉच इवन इन टुडेज डेट, नॉट जस्ट अर्लियर. कई सारे ऐसे हमने मूवीज पहले देखे हैं ना या बचपन में देखे जो बहुत फ्यूचरिस्टिक होती थी, विच वुड शो 2050 विथ फ्लाइंग कार्स. एंड वी हैव अ फ्लाइंग कार नाउ which is being sold for good amount of money. I don't remember for what. ठीक है. रोबोज होते थे, स्पीड व्हीकल्स, इमीडिएट ट्रैवल, टाइम ट्रैवल, फ्लाइंग कार्स, राइट? एंड इट यूज्ड टू बी सो एक्साइटिंग, इट यूज्ड टू बी सो फैसिनेटिंग, और फॉर दैट मैटर इज स्टिल, ठीक है, इट स्टिल इज. बट इज द फ्यूचर और हैज इट ऑलरेडी बिकम आवर रियलिटी? नाउ व्हेन यू लुक अराउंड, what you used to see when you were probably 4-5 years old and from what it has transformed to now in the past 10 years. Or when I think about how my life has changed in the past 15 years, oh my God, I can't think about it. Doing video calls at just a tap away. I remember when I was in grade 7th and my sister used to stay in Pune. If I wanted to have a video call with her, we only had Skype where we could go and do this video call. And doing the whole setup, having a good internet speed, everything used to be so challenging. And now, if I'm not able to find a thing in my home, I'll just call my mother and ask where is it kept. And she'll just guide me through the video call. That is how easy the connectivity has become in today's date, right? That is how easily we have become a part of each other's life. I do not meet my sister who stays in the United States for a year and a half. But it doesn't feel like that because I get to see her so frequently over those video calls. So you might be thinking that ma'am is obsessed with video calls, but moving on. So many other things. Electric vehicle, imagining vehicles running without petrol and diesel and natural gas. When I learned that people actually use just natural gas to run the vehicles in itself was so amazing. And now I see that you don't need any fuel at all. You just have to provide them energy from these electricity cables. And that is so amazing. That is so super cool. Having phones where only buttons and keypads were there, from there switching to phones which is touchscreen. There's so many shifts and changes that has happened in our lives in today's date, right? So I think that a lot of things actually is not just futuristic anymore, has become a part of our reality and our lives today. हम जी रहे हैं उससे, हम उसी era में हैं, है ना? But with the surge of globalization, objects and people gain the ability to move fast, just like that. Fast fashion, fast food, fast traveling, everything is just a touch away or very much accessible for us. Everything has become super easy, ठीक है? पहले के जमाने में कुछ भी नहीं था, right? Not immediate though, but still rapidly and efficiently. How has this been possible? तो मे बी सब कुछ ऐसा नहीं हो गया है कि एकदम ही हमारे डिस्पोजल पे है, दैट यू कैन जस्ट गेट योर, यू विश फॉर इट एंड यू गेट योर हैंड्स ऑन इट, बट इट हैज डेफिनेटली बिकम पॉसिबल फॉर अस टू रीच दोज थिंग्स, राइट? तो ये ग्लोबलाइजेशन की वजह से हुआ है. तो व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय द वेरी टर्म ग्लोबलाइजेशन? ग्लोबलाइजेशन का मतलब क्या होता है? सबसे पहले हमें ये समझना होगा कि ग्लोबलाइजेशन टर्म कहाँ से निकलती है, उसका वेरी वेरी बेसिक मीनिंग क्या हम निकाल सकते हैं. तो ग्लोबलाइजेशन क्या है बच्चे? ग्लोब क्या है हमारा? दिस इज द ग्लोब. ग्लोब बेसिकली वी आर रेफरिंग टू द अर्थ, टू द वर्ल्ड, राइट? So basically globalization is the process where world earlier, which otherwise is so huge and large, it still is. It's not like the size has reduced. But how we have come closer now, because with the help of technology, development and all of the other exchanges of culture, adaptabilities, acceptance, for multiple reasons, how well we have now got connected. इतने आराम से हम connected हो गए हैं that the access to one place to another or one person to another, one object to another has become so easy for us, so doable for us, that the entire world, which otherwise is so huge, feels like a village now, like a big village now. Earlier, traveling to America, traveling to Europe used to be a big deal. ठीक है? Okay, Amartya, sure, no problem. पहले लिबरलाइजेशन पे जूनियर अभी गए नहीं है हम, विल टॉक अबाउट इट. द मूवमेंट ऑफ गुड्स, कैपिटल, जर्म्स, डिजीजेस फ्रॉम वन नेशन टू अनदर, एब्सोल्युटली दैट इज ग्लोबलाइजेशन. सो अब क्या हो गया है कि पहले मतलब आप इंडिया में हो और इंडिया से आपको अमेरिका जाना है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात होती थी. दैट यूज्ड टू बी अ वेरी बिग डील बिकॉज इट वाज एक्सपेंसिव, because there were not enough planes, because earlier there was not enough very great very polished technology. अब ये सब बदल रहा है. Now all of that is changing, है ना? अब ये सब शिफ्ट हो रहा है. अब क्या हो रहा है? We are growing together, we are growing, we are developing, and we are growing together, and we are developing together, and we are coming closer. I remember 15 years back, 10 years back, or for that matter 5 years back, there were certain brands which were only available in certain countries on the western side. And if you wanted to purchase something of those brands, only when somebody was traveling, you would request them that please get it for me, and you would get it purchased from there and bring it here and maybe probably flaunt it or be happy about it. Now, even if you don't have anyone who stays there, even if you don't have anyone who's traveling there, there's so many e-commerce websites which is giving you the option to purchase it at a maybe slightly higher price and get it from other countries to your country. That is connectivity, having your hands on the people, on the information, on the goods, on the services that is being served everywhere around the world, even in the information for that matter, right? Information भी पहले दूसरे देश की हमारे पास बहुत देर से पहुंचती थी. It used to take time for a lot of updates for us to come from different nation to ours. Now we live in real time. If it's happening there at this very moment, in next 2 minutes, you'll have that information on your fingers to scroll through, right? Charita, hi bache, good evening. That is what globalization is. So globalization is this process of rapid, very quick integration, coming together, coming closer. ठीक है? Hi Sahil, good evening. मैम माई नेम इज नॉट जूनियर, इट्स गीतिका. तो पहले बताना था ना गीतिका बच्चे, आपने जूनियर मेंबर लिख के रखा है. आई कॉल यू जूनियर, आई स्टिल कॉल यू जूनियर ओनली, आई लाइक इट. तो ये जो रैपिड इंटीग्रेशन है, विच मीन्स पीपल कमिंग, बिकमिंग इंटरकनेक्टेड, पीपल कमिंग टुगेदर, साथ में जुड़ना, एकजुट हो जाना बिटवीन द कंट्रीज, दैट इज व्हाट ग्लोबलाइजेशन इज. द ग्लोबल वर्ल्ड बिकमिंग स्मॉलर, नॉट लिटरली बट फीलिंग स्मॉलर, फीलिंग वेरी इजी टू कनेक्ट. पहले इंडिया में एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाना इतना मुश्किल फील नहीं होता था. अब वैसी ही फीलिंग आपको एक देश से दूसरे देश जाने में मतलब आसान लगता है. Why? Because we have connected so much. It's so easy to do everything. And this movement is happening, right? Movement of goods are happening. Movement of services are happening. People who are working in India are actually working for American, European, Chinese, different Asian companies. And they're being paid by them. They're actually working for them. They're employed by them, but they're sitting here in India and working. So services being provided from one nation to another nation. Goods, I gave you example, right? Something being manufactured of a particular brand which is not in India, but still with e-commerce or some other postal services, you can easily order them and still get it here in this nation. So there's a lot of investment in technology by multinational corporations. What are multinational corporations, you guys? Multinational corporations are companies. ये companies होती हैं, कुछ बड़ी बात नहीं है. ये companies है, किसी भी चीज़ की हो सकती है. Service company, goods company, मतलब कुछ भी manufacture करी हो सकती है. हो सकता है they are service provider, हो सकता है they are manufacturers. Like for example, Apple. Apple is a manufacturer multinational company. Or for example, Deloitte, which is a service providing multinational companies. What are they doing? They basically are operating in multiple countries. है ना? ये क्या करते हैं? इनका सेंटर एक देश में नहीं होता है, अलग अलग देशों में होता है. They have different offices in different countries. Maybe their design office is in Europe. Maybe their basic service office is in India. ठीक है? Their tech office is in America. Their marketing office is in another part of let's say Russia. ठीक है? कौन सा बोला मैंने अभी? मार्केटिंग, हाँ, या यूरोप में कहीं पे हो. ऐसे क्या हो रहा है? दे आर एक्चुअली लेट्स से एन अमेरिकन कंपनी और एन इंडियन कंपनी, बट दे हैव देयर वेरियस ऑफिसेज इन अदर 4 countries. So they are from one nation, but their whole system of production of goods or services is divided in various nations. अलग अलग देशों में काम कर रहे हैं. ऐसे कंपनीज को हम मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज कहते हैं. Such companies are known as multinational companies or MNCs in short. For example, Ford Motors. Ford के बारे में हमने पढ़ा हुआ है. We have read about Ford. If you remember, during the industrialization and the First World War is when they started. Henry Ford started the Ford Motors in USA. So it is a USA company. But you'll find Ford cars present in India also. You'll find Ford cars being driven in America also. You'll find Ford cars being driven in multiple other nations. And not just being driven. So, of course, their goods are available over there. But they also have offices in multiple countries. Manufacturing in multiple countries. Now they have moved out of India. So, India example nahi lete hain. But a lot of other countries where they have their service center, where they have their manufacturing units, where they just manufacture the engine, or they do the engineering, or they provide the public services. ऐसे कई सारे देशों में तो वो मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी बन जाती है, right? So Ford in India not only produces cars for Indian markets, it also exports cars to other developing countries. So they earlier, when they were here, they used to manufacture the car for India and also for other close by developing countries and export from India to these countries, right? So export car components for its many factories around the world, and a lot of different parts they would manufacture here in India or some other part of the country and transport it to different parts of country. So what do we see? It was or has its base in मल्टीपल नेशंस, तो ऐसे कंपनी को हम मल्टीनेशनल कंपनी कहते हैं. And they are the ones who have played a very, very big role in enabling globalization. Because of such kind of companies, people have come together even more. और ज़्यादा पास आ गए हैं, और ज़्यादा connected हो गए हैं. ठीक है? Okay. Now, MNCs and global production की बात की जाए तो बच्चे MNCs, first of all, okay, it sounds great that they are doing different parts of their business in different nation. But it sounds a very complex process, doesn't it? I would always prefer, if I'm opening my office, all the people who are related to the office and are doing different profiles of jobs to be under one roof. That would be much easy for me. At least in one city or at least in one nation, so that when I need to see them, I can see them, whatever. But these countries are all together placing complete different complex processes in different parts of the world, not just the nation. ठीक है? Hi Noor, बच्चे Google करके देखो, ठीक है? I will get to that question. Let's focus on globalization first. So the point is that if the process is so complex, if producing in different countries, dividing your process, whole process of production of goods or services and putting it all together in different countries, connecting them together, bringing them together, integrating them together, operating them together is going to be a challenge. It's going to be difficult. How do these companies manage it and why do they do it? क्यों करते हैं ये? The answer is very simple: to save money. But any private company, no matter what they do, is to make more and more money. And these multinational companies figured it out long back. So what they started doing was, for example, the daily wage, okay, per day in US, okay, in US probably would be 800 rupees. Okay, example. कम से कम आपको, आप किसी, चलो 800 नहीं, थोड़ा कम कर लेते हैं, मान लेते हैं 600 rupees. Okay, which means if you're making somebody work, you at least need to pay them 600 rupees a day. Whereas in India, the charge is 300 rupees, which is 50% less than what is there in US. And same amount of skill, knowledge, productivity, efficiency can be obtained from this Indian person as well. That can be obtained from this American person. Which means if I am spending 3,000 rupees in India, I can hire 10 people and get work done by 10 people, which means a lot of work. Whereas if I am spending 3,000 in America, I can only hire 5 people. So naturally, my work is being done only 50% in the same amount. And that is the drill that they cracked. That is what they understood. कम पैसे लगा करके सेम क्वालिटी का, सेम एफिशिएंसी का अच्छा काम अगर निकालना है तो इसके लिए आपको आउटसोर्स करना पड़ेगा. यू विल हैव टू source the job, you will have to designate the job to somebody else where the cost of earning would be cheaper. Okay, so that is the idea with which the multinational companies started operating. Wherever the labor was cheap, wherever the products were cheap, transportation were cheap, production would be cheap. जहाँ उनको जो सस्ते में मिल जाएगा, the government would be in favor to give them certain relaxations in terms of taxes, in terms of policies. जहाँ उनको आसानी से कम पैसों में उनका काम बन जाए, उन countries में they started spreading out, and that is how multinational companies started coming in. So MNCs, they basically seek cheaper production so that they can make maximum profit. That's what they started doing. But why did other countries let a different country's company come into their own? हम अगर किसी यूएस की, यूरोप की कंपनी को यहाँ आने दे रहे, why are we letting that happen? Why are we letting a US, American, European country come, a company come here in India? Because when they come, they generate employment, they bring in money, है ना, and they do some investment. They bring the money which we call foreign investment. Because they're building the infrastructure, they're building the buildings, they're renting out the offices, they're giving employment to so many people, and in all such ways, only the economy is growing of the country also where these foreign companies are coming. So because of these, the countries also started opening their arms and saying, yes, please come here. We want you to come here. We want you to employ more of our people. We want you to give them jobs. We want you to give them salaries. We want you to rent these offices, pay the electricity bill, and hence contribute in my country's earning. मेरे देश को पैसा आपसे ऐसे ही मिलेगा. Foreign investment करो, है ना? Kapil, hi. What do you want the answer first for? Hi, Adavendra. Gitika. Study GK with Karan. Hi, बच्चे. Good evening. Hi, Radha. बच्चे G20 में यहाँ पे तो नहीं पढ़ा रही हूँ. I'm only going to teach what has been prescribed in your syllabus, which will be assessed in your board exams as per CBSE stated syllabus in this particular session. आज के session में कल पूरा ग्लोबलाइजेशन का वन शॉट करेंगे. ओके, कशिश वर्मा, गुड इवनिंग, वेलकम. टेक्नोलॉजी in business of goods, it's legal or not? Kapil, there's no right and wrong answer over here. If you're not breaking rules, it can be legal. Technology, bringing technology in business of goods. And if and why would you not use technology? If you're manufacturing some goods in industries with modern machines, that is involving technology. So it is legal. But of course, if you're doing something wrong, breaking the law of the country that you're staying in, then it can be legal also. There's no one blanket answer to this, right? Hi, Ronak. Yes, Gitika, my sessions are made up from NCRT. Buddhism emerged from Buddha, who was basically a part of one of the dynasties in Nepal, and from there he came here. बोध गया में उन्होंने enlightenment हासिल की. Class 6 में पढ़ा होगा ना आपने? Karan, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. Now, rising foreign trade, increase in foreign trade between countries with a significant portion controlled by MNCs has also played a very important role in the part of globalization. Okay? Which means two countries. What do you mean by foreign trade? Two or more countries doing business with each other. पहले क्या होता था earlier? Countries used to mostly do business within the nation. Now, a lot of export and import has started happening, which means a lot of countries are buying products from different countries and selling products to different countries. So that has also played a lot of role in it, and multinational companies have been a very, very significant part of it. Multinational companies ने बहुत बड़ा role play किया है इस पूरे foreign trade में. And the influence that they have had is very, very important. It has been very pivotal because they of course helped with the movement of goods, services, investment and technology. So all of these are factors which is helping globalization happen, right? If you talk about global interaction, we know that the connectivity between the people have only increased if you compare it with the past. Past की comparison में आज जो है हम धीरे धीरे क्या देख रहे हैं? Technical Bhavnesh, sorry, hi, good evening, welcome to the session. Every day बच्चे, we are developing more and more compared to the day before, right? If you imagine your life 15 years back, it is not at all the same as used to be 30 years back. And what was 15 years back, today we are way more advanced than that, right? So more development, more technology has come in. And that is how we have grown closer to each other. When I was in class 10th, which you guys are now, Facebook had just come few years back. Facebook को आए हुए I think 2-3 साल हुए होंगे in India. Okay, before that we used to use something called Orkut. Oh my God, I belong to a generation where Orkut was also used. I was in 8th grade when I learned about Orkut, I think. And I was in grade 9 when I learned about Facebook. Now we have moved from Facebook to Instagram and so many other apps. So what I'm trying to say is that Facebook as a concept was so new back at that time when I was your age. And now it is like a part of our lives. We live on it so much. So that is how we have connected with each other as well. The social media has helped a big deal in connecting various people around the nation, around the world, around the countries together. So with the development of technology, with new things coming up, we have only gotten closer and closer to each other. The movement has become very, very simple for people. Why is that? Technology are better, more options are available, hence accessibility is better, hence affordability is better. Earlier what used to be very expensive because it was not the most nuanced technology, not the best developed technology, not available for everyone. The more it becomes a part of your life. For example, cell phones. Cell phones used to be extremely expensive when they were launched. Very few people could afford it. Now, each and every person carries a cell phone in their hands because the technology has developed so much that it has become very accessible and affordable for everyone. Same goes with traveling, air transportation, for example. So, it's very easy to travel from one place to another. It is very affordable, and because of this, people are easily moving around the world. Okay? Amartya, Gaya, I was born in Gaya. So, between countries, due to various restrictions, despite the search for better income, jobs, education, traveling, tourism, people are moving constantly. People are moving from one place to another to get jobs. People are moving from one place to another to get education. People are moving from one place to another for better income, for better lifestyle. People are moving from one place to another, maybe not to settle, but just to travel, and a lot of exchange of culture, connectivity is happening because of that, right? Okay. Guys, one quick notification. This week we are doing the sessions at 7 p.m. which is only till tomorrow. From next week onwards, ठीक है? करण जी नहीं बिल्कुल भी नहीं. Next week onwards, आपके सारे classes जो हैं 8 बजे होंगी. Next week onwards, from Monday onwards, all your sessions will be happening at 8 p.m. for the upcoming week. Next पूरे हफ्ते 8 बजे classes होगी. YouTube पे and Embibe platform पे basically to get, I'm going to rephrase this. As of now, we conduct classes both on the app of Embibe and YouTube parallelly. But going forward from the next week, all the sessions will not be happening together. We'll have few sessions on YouTube, few on Embibe app. So please make sure, students especially watching the sessions on YouTube, that you do go ahead and register yourself for the upcoming sessions that will be happening on Embibe app. ठीक है, ये ज़रूर कर लेना ताकि आपका कोई भी important discussion miss ना हो. A lot of practice questions I'll be doing on YouTube. A lot of teaching I'll be doing on Embibe app. That's how I will be dividing the sessions. Okay. Hanji Bhavnesh, I do. I have seen him on YouTube. Okay. Now, potential connection क्या है? People moving between countries, of course, connect with nations, but restrictions hinder significant increases. So, bache, with the travel, with visa and a lot of rules and regulations, it does act as an obstacle. Now, that brings us to the very first quiz question. Let's quickly answer this question. Hi, Shaurya. Welcome to the session. In the process of globalization, dash play a major role. What plays a major role? Multinational corporations or domestic companies? Globalization के process में मेजर रोल प्ले करने वाले में से इनमें से कौन सी चीज़ें हैं? मल्टीनेशनल कॉर्पोरेशंस या फिर डोमेस्टिक कंपनीज? Okay, Radha Mangal has answered absolutely correct. Amartya Dhanush, good job. Tanmay has taken an attempt. Glad about that. Karun and Kashish, आपने जवाब नहीं दिया. Karan ने attempt लिया है. Multinational companies होगा बच्चे. Multinational corporations, they have played a very, very big role. A very important role, right? Now, the factors that have enabled globalization. We have understood what globalization is, how we can see it in different aspects of the world and the life. Now, we are going to talk and understand that what are certain factors which has enabled globalization. Multinational companies, of course, has played a very important role. That's very one important thing which has made globalization happen very rapidly, very fast, right? Other factors which has led to globalization are your latest technology and certain policy changes. Policy changes like liberal foreign trade and investment policy. Now, we will go ahead and understand this a little more in depth. टेक्नोलॉजी की अगर बात की जाए बच्चे तो ऑफ कोर्स द वे वी आर एडवांसिंग आवर टेक्नोलॉजी द मोर वी रिफाइन इट द बेटर इट गेट्स. new TVs, new cell phones, better internet, better speed of internet, quality of videos, access to e-commerce websites. All of this is what? Or having better trains, better buses, better vehicles, better airplanes. All of this is technology. And the better it gets, the more connected we are, the more accessible to each other or to different places we are, and more affordable it is. Right? Okay. So rapid movement क्या होता है? Rapid movement in technology, it has, I mean, the fast growth in technology has enabled us, has helped us to grow and improve and globalize more, be more connected. ज़्यादा जुड़ गए हैं हम एक दूसरे से. Several improvements जैसे कि transportation, ठीक है. अब because of transportation, see it's all like a chain reaction. ये क्या है? Chain reaction की तरह है. हमारे पास बेटर इंजन्स आए, बेटर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन हुई, बेटर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन हुई, ज़्यादा एक्सेसिबल हुई, ज़्यादा अफोर्डेबल हुई, ज़्यादा अफोर्डेबल हुई, तो नाउ वी कैन डू डिलीवरीज इवन फ्रॉम डिफरेंट कंट्रीज और इवन फ्रॉम डिफरेंट स्टेट्स ऑफ इंडिया or any nation for that matter. So now you can purchase goods from different countries or different places in your own country. And that too very fast delivery. You order today, in 2 days you will have the product with you, or maybe the next day, sometimes even the same day on Amazon it happens, right? So we see that even the long distances, delivery of people, services or goods can happen at a very lower cost at long distances, but very rapid, very quick. And with, if we keep on advancing similarly in terms of technology, we see further it will only fuel up, it will only push global integration with more better transportation and communication capabilities. जितना communication, transportation enhance होगा, जितना better होगा, उतना हम एक दूसरे के करीब आते जाएंगे. ठीक है भवनेश, I completely agree, that's really true. Now talking about another factor, technology के साथ साथ it is information and communication technology, the ICT, right? So of course there has been a huge change in the information and communication also, the kind of phones we use, the kind of network communication we use, the kind of internet that we use, right? पहले आप कहीं एक एरिया में चले जाओ, वहाँ नेटवर्क नहीं आता था, तो कनेक्शन वाज डिफिकल्ट दैट वेज, इंटरनेट वाज नॉट देयर, फ्री कॉलिंग वाज नॉट देयर. But now with more nuanced technologies, we can do so much, right? When I was in 10th standard, we used to buy a message pack, which was not internet. It was a text message pack. For a certain amount of money, you would get 75 messages every day. That would limit you, right? But now with internet, you can do free texting, and the internet packages are also so cheap. पहले इंटरनेट भी बहुत महंगा मिलता था कि एक महीने में you get 2 GB of data for 300 rupees. But now you get every day 2 GB data for 300 rupees for entire month, right? Which is like 2 GB data for entire month. It's like 60 GB, 70 GB data you're getting. What is this? This is technology. And with the growing technology, it being affordable. So we see a lot of changes in the telecommunication, the way we communicate with each other through the phone, through the wireless thing, mobile phones, fax, satellite communication, all of this being so seamless. And hence connecting us to different information, to people, even to the remotest areas or even to the farthest areas. चाहे दुनिया के किसी भी कोने में कोई हो, आप उनसे अब जो है आराम से कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, जुड़े रह सकते हो, राइट? कुलदीप, यू कैन नॉट. बिना पढ़े बच्चे 80 तो क्या, आपको 30 नंबर भी नहीं मिलेंगे. पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा ही, जितना पढ़ोगे उतने ज़्यादा नंबर आएंगे. उसमें स्ट्रैटेजाइज कर सकते हो कि कैसे थोड़ा एफिशिएंट तरीके से कम पढ़ाई करके ज़्यादा मार्क्स लाए, वो फिर भी मेक सेंस करता है. इफ यू सेइंग हाउ डू आई नॉट स्टडी एंड स्कोर 80, नॉट हैपनिंग. एंड एटलीस्ट नॉट इफ योर इफ until unless your fate is destined to be like that कि ऐसे ही सवाल आ गए कि सबका जवाब तुम्हें आता है, वो बहुत मुश्किल है. ओके ओके, मूविंग ऑन. कंप्यूटर्स हमें पता है आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? अ लॉट ऑफ यू माइट बी वॉचिंग दिस सेशन ऑन योर कंप्यूटर. आई एम रीडिंग योर चैट्स ऑन माई कंप्यूटर. आई एम यूजिंग अ बिग फॉर्म ऑफ कंप्यूटर टू टीच यू. तो चाहे कोई भी फील्ड ऑफ वर्क हो या फेज ऑफ लाइफ हो, इट इज़ समथिंग दैट वी आर यूजिंग ऑलमोस्ट ऑन अ डेली बेसिस फॉर वेरियस पर्पसेस. and it is revolutionizing, it is completely changing the utility, the technology, the access to technology and the world as it exists. अब हम कंप्यूटर पे यार थिएटर बना देते हैं. We watch things on computers and phones which earlier were only available in movie theaters. Internet revolution है ना, so much of information. For example, this session or any other teacher's session or any other news article, any other books, any other information material from Google, all of that is only available to you because of the internet and the revolution that has happened over there about various subjects. Communication with the help of internet, right? Electronic mails, emails, instant messages, या फिर वॉइस कम्युनिकेशन, वीडियो कम्युनिकेशन एट मिनिमम कॉस्ट. ये सब क्या है? ब्यूटिफुल टेक्नोलॉजिकल डेवलपमेंट विच हैज ब्रॉट अस टुगेदर. So we see that information and communication technologies, the ICT, plays a very important role in bridging the global distances. Doesn't matter how far we are from each other, we are still brought very close because of the all of these elements, and it helps in connecting together, in sharing information, and of course instant communication, being a global user, being a global producer, being a global consumer. ठीक है, तो अब इसी बात पे नेक्स्ट क्विज क्वेश्चन कर लेंगे हम. ठीक है, हमारा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है? Access to vast information and sharing capabilities across diverse subjects can be made possible with access to television, internet or radio. Hi Shreya, good evening. Welcome to the session. Ma'am, is it possible to score 80 out of 18 board exams? Absolutely it is. If you have a concrete preparation, you will certainly do. डिप्रेशन में नहीं जाना है यार, आराम से पढ़ो, बहुत अच्छे से हो जाएगा. ठीक है, मोहम्मद आसिफ, तनी हिंदी में भी बताई. जो आप लिख रहे हो वो भोजपुरी है, वो हिंदी नहीं है. हिंदी में भी बता रही हूँ मैं बहुत सारा. Okay, Amartya, nahi bache, I have not answered your question. Let me read the question that you have asked. Just give me a moment. Madam, I have heard that in the past there were messages from the post office through telegram. हाँ, ये होता था. टेलीग्राम करण ने पूछा, ये अमर्त्य ने नहीं पूछा है वैसे. करण, हाँ जी, टेलीग्राम ऐसा होता था. ठीक है, और एक पॉइंट चाहिए था ना जहाँ पे टेलीग्राम से मैसेजेस आते, तो इसलिए. अमर्त्या, आई डिड नॉट गेट योर क्वेश्चन. कैन यू री राइट इट इन द चैट अगेन? एसएसटी बड़ा आसान है, आप अच्छे से पढ़ लो. ठीक है, आप अच्छे से पढ़ लोगे तो इससे आसान आपको कुछ नहीं लगेगा. तो अमर्त्या, धनुष, प्रखर, तन्मय, गुड जॉब. श्रिष्ठा ने भी सही जवाब दिया, वंडरफुल. सो हैज प्रखर. करण हैज टेकन एन अटेम्प्ट, वंडरफुल. कशिश, आप बच्चे हो, इंटरनेट सही सवाल है, या यूट्यूब पे भी सारे बच्चों ने सही जवाब दिया है, वंडरफुल. ठीक है मैम, आप बस यूट्यूब को ही पढ़ाइए. अमर्त्या, आपका मैसेज आया नहीं, मैं क्या करूं? Okay, moving on. Use of information technology on in terms of globalization. So we know, we have already understood that it has helped a lot in spreading out production of services across the countries, employment across the countries, multinational companies coming together. ठीक है, तो अब जैसे एग्जाम्पल लेकर के देखते हैं. सो बेसिकली वी आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग हाउ IT is playing a role in globalization with help of an example. एग्जाम्पल हमें क्या बता रहा है? देयर इज अ न्यूज मैगजीन विच इज बेस्ड इन लंडन. ओके, बट whatever they publish, whatever they print, it is designed and printed in Delhi, which is in India. Correct? The text of the magazine is sent through the internet to the Delhi office. How is this printing and designing happening? How do we know what to print and what to design? Because with the help of the internet, the information is reaching to Delhi from London. So you understand the purpose of the internet. Okay, then the designers in Delhi office, they work on it, but how do they get the approval? They will again use the internet to send the designs to the office in London and say, are you happy with this or do you want me to make changes? Right? The design is done on the computer, another IT material. After printing, the magazine is sent with the help of air transportation, right, to London, and the payment of the money of designing, printing, everything is done with electronic banking. Electronic banking means internet. Internet पे बिना physical transfer of money, money comes to the people who have worked on it. Okay, so that was about technology, role of technology. Now we will talk about the role of various policies. अमर्त्या पूछ ले भाई, क्या पूछना है बता तो दो, क्या चाहिए. बड़े सेंसिटिव बच्चे बहुत दिल पे ले लेते हैं एकदम फटाफट से बात. ठीक है. Karan, that probably would be possible, but you will at least need to have some knowledge from before. आप पहली बार किताब खोलोगे और आपको लगेगा कि एक दिन और एक रात पढ़ाई की और कल सब याद रहेगा, इतना नहीं हो पाता है. आपकी ब्रेन की भी एक कैपेसिटी होती है, उसको थोड़ा ट्रेन करोगे ना, एकदम से अचानक चाहोगे कि फटाफट हो जाए, तो ऐसा नहीं होगा. Trade barriers. So some policies which has helped in globalization. Now I'll tell you a story. The story is from 1947. तो 1947 ठीक है, आज़ादी की बात है. When we got, I'm asking what was your doubt? You told me, have you answered my question? My internet is slow. What was your question? I didn't see your question. I looked through the chat, didn't find your question. करण का क्वेश्चन मुझे मिला जो कि मैंने आंसर कर दिया है. ठीक है, तो 1947 की बात है. When we got independence, how was the condition of India? Condition of India was very very bad in terms of economy. यानी कि financially बच्चे हमारी बैंड बजी पड़ी थी. Why? Because a lot of economy drain had happened from India to England. हमारे सारे पैसे बहा करके ये जो इंग्लिश थे, ये ब्रिटिशर्स थे, लेकर चले गए थे. They had not let proper industrialization happen in India. We were not used to producing, we were not used to a lot of employment. ये सारी चीज़ें उन्होंने ग्रो करने ही नहीं दी थी इंडिया में. समझ रहे हो आप प्रॉब्लम को? ठीक है. As a result of which the leaders at that time, हमारे जो लीडर्स थे, जवाहरलाल नेहरू हो गए, महात्मा गांधी हो गए, और भी जो लोग थे, फाइनेंस के, अलग अलग बैकग्राउंड के, बिजनेस के, ट्रेड के, they sat and thought that at this very moment where we already don't have a lot of industries manufacturing in India, a lot of people not aware about how to do it in India, if we let other companies from different countries come into our nation and provide those things to our people, our industries will never be able to flourish. हमारे बच्चे अभी चलना ही नहीं सीख पाए क्योंकि ब्रिटिशर्स ने इनको चलने ही नहीं दिया है. ऐसे वक्त में हम अगर बाकी दूसरे कंपनीज को आने देते हैं हमारे देश में और यहाँ पे मैन्युफैक्चर करने देते हैं, ट्रेड करने देते हैं, तो हमारे बच्चे कभी चलना सीखेंगे भी नहीं. वो कभी कंपनी खोल नहीं पाएंगे. बहुत ज़्यादा कंपटीशन होगा बिकॉज द पीपल कमिंग फ्रॉम आउटसाइड विल बी एक्सपीरियंस्ड, विल हैव टेक्नोलॉजी एंड दे विल सेल देयर प्रोडक्ट्स एट वेरी कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइसेस. वो बहुत सस्ता बेचेंगे. हमारे लोग कभी बढ़ ही नहीं पाएंगे. सो व्हाट शुड वी डू? We should not let any other country come, any company from any other country come into our nation at this very point and take control of our market, because again colonization जैसी situation present हो जाएगी जहाँ पे economy सारे पैसे दूसरे देश कमा के ले जाएगा और हमारा देश गरीब रह जाएगा. So in order to stop this, they had to create certain policies, and a lot of nations have done these. I'm taking example of India to explain this to you. Now, see, you cannot go ahead and say it is against our law. We ban complete business of anybody who is producing anything from outside to enter India. It will also hamper your relations with the country, right? दूसरा, anything that is being produced in India cannot be sold outside. दूसरा, वो ये भी नहीं चाहते थे कि इंडिया में जो थोड़ा बहुत प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है वो लोग जाके बाहर बेचे. Whatever little bit of production was happening in India should be sold outside. Why? Because already you're not letting anyone come inside, you're not letting them trade inside. So people need products, and whatever is being manufactured in India, if it's not being sold to Indian citizens, where will they get the products from? So Indian manufacturers will be selling their products only to Indian citizens. They should not be selling it outside. But you cannot directly go ahead, or you don't want to go ahead and just say, no, you can't do this. नहीं, because वो भी सही नहीं है. अगर कोई बाहर से घुसना चाहता है अपनी मर्जी से, ठीक है. किसी को बाहर बेचना है सामान, ठीक है. What will they do? They will basically now impose a certain kind of tax. ठीक है, जिसे हम कस्टम ड्यूटीज के नाम से भी जानते हैं. तो इन्होंने कहा कि हम किसी को पूरी तरीके से मना नहीं करेंगे, हम क्या करना चाहते हैं, व्हाट डू वी वांट टू डू, वी वांट टू रेस्ट्रिक्ट people from outside entering into our nation. We don't want them just to come in and do whatever they want to do and control our market. So we will start creating barriers. हम barriers बनाने लगेंगे, ठीक है. When बच्चे a product which is otherwise let's say sold for 100 rupees comes into India and this company has to pay tax to trade in India, and the taxes were very high, by the way. Now they will be selling the same product at 150 rupees. Now that is 50% tax that they are paying. So consumer which could have bought this for 100 rupees will now have to buy it for 150. तो ये छोटे अमाउंट में आपको शायद ऐसे लग रहा हो, मैं इसको ऐसे दिखाती हूँ. 10,000 का सामान अब आपको 15,000 रुपए में मिलेगा. ये तो महंगा हो गया सामान एकदम से बहुत ज्यादा. या फिर 16,000 रुपए में मिलेगा, ये बहुत एक्सपेंसिव पड़ेगा. सो नेचुरली पीपल विल रिस्ट्रिक्ट और रिफ्रेन फ्रॉम बाइंग थिंग्स एक्सपेंसिव बिकॉज वॉट एवर वॉज बीइंग प्रोड्यूस्ड इन इंडिया वुड बी चीपर. तो ऐसे जो इम्पोजिशंस लगाए जाते हैं टैक्स को रिस्ट्रिक्ट करने के लिए ट्रेड, कि जो देश में सामान बन रहा है वो बाहर ना जाए और बाहर जो सामान बन रहा है वो अंदर ना आए, उसे ट्रेड बैरियर कहते हैं. बिकॉज यू काइंड ऑफ क्रिएटिंग अ बाउंड्री, बट इट्स नॉट अ वेरी हार्ड बाउंड्री. You are restricting it. You're putting such conditions that it will become difficult for manufacturers. तो गवर्नमेंट ऐसे कंट्रोल और ऐसी लिमिटेशंस लगाती है एक्सपोर्ट और इंपोर्ट पे सामान और सर्विसेज के, गुड्स और सर्विसेज के. इसे हम ट्रेड बैरियर्स कहते हैं. यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस टर्म. अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आस्क्ड फ्रॉम हियर. सो व्हाट आर ट्रेड बैरियर्स, यू शुड रिमेंबर, व्हिच इज यूज्ड टू इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज द ट्रेड. तो बच्चे ट्रेड बैरियर जो है वो सिर्फ ट्रेड डिक्रीज करने के लिए नहीं, इंक्रीज करने के लिए भी की जाती है. इफ यू वांट अदर कंट्रीज टू कम एंड डू इट मोर इन योर नेशन, द ट्रेडिंग, you will decrease the tax to very very less amount, that you don't pay any tax, you pay only 5%, only 2%, then they will come and trade more in your nation, right? तो जब आप ट्रेड के अमाउंट को इंक्रीज डिक्रीज कंट्रोल करते हो इन टैक्सेशन से, उसे ट्रेड बैरियर कहते हैं कि क्या गुड्स बिकने चाहिए, किस देश में बिकने चाहिए, एटसेट्रा. Now there is also a possibility that you only have these restrictions on certain goods or on certain countries. I don't want the trading to happen from America, so I will only impose extra tax for American goods. I don't want trading to happen in a lot of other things, but there are things like oil which I need in my country. So I will not impose the tax on oil because oil is not in my country, I cannot produce it. So the government controls all of these things. These are implemented to protect the domestic industries. सेफ गार्ड द डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्री. जैसे कि 1947 में हमारे देश के पास लोग इतने स्ट्रॉन्ग मैन्युफैक्चरर्स नहीं थे, हम उनको एक इनेबलिंग फैक्टर देना चाहते थे. वी वांटेड टू होल्ड देयर हैंड्स टू मेक देम वर्क एंड देन रन इन द कंपटीशन. तो आप उसमें कोटा देते हो, सब्सिडी देते हो, नॉन टैरिफ बैरियर देते हो, लाइसेंस रिक्वायरमेंट वगैरह पे आप मदद करते हो अपने लोगों को बढ़ने के लिए. एंड दैट ब्रिंग्स अस टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Trade barriers are used to regulate all the small scale industries in India. Is this true or is this false? काफी simple question है, मैं बहुत देर इंतजार नहीं करूंगी for you to answer because it's actually a very very simple question. Let's quickly answer this question, you guys, and then move on. Trade barriers are used to regulate the small scale industries in India. Is this true or is this false? Guys, next week we are also doing a session on planning of last 60-day preparation for scoring the best marks. So please make sure that you come and attend that because a lot of you keep on asking about strategies. आखिरी के 2 महीने हम कैसे अपना प्रेप कर सकते हैं पूरा दिसंबर और जनवरी जम करके सोशल साइंस के लिए, वो करेंगे हम डिस्कस, ठीक है. फॉरेन ट्रेड कुलदीप मीन्स डूइंग बिजनेस विथ अदर कंट्रीज. Foreign investment means other country comes and put their money, they invest it in your nation by maybe opening a company, employing your people, etc. Okay. So I only have silent cartoon who has answered correctly. Kashish ने attempt लिया है. ये statement जो है वो false है. ट्रेड बैरियर्स जो है स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज को रेगुलेट करने के लिए ही सिर्फ इस्तेमाल नहीं होती है, पूरे कंट्री के लिए, फॉरेन ट्रेड के लिए इस्तेमाल होती है. Now with that, moving on and talking about factors that have enabled globalization में policy. तो before globalization क्या थी policy? Foreign trade investment दोनों पे ही restriction था. ना ही हम व्यापार कर रहे थे, ना ही हम दूसरों का पैसा आने दे रहे थे देश में कि हाँ आओ हमारे देश में इन्वेस्ट करो. इवन दैट वी वर नॉट डूइंग. बहुत सारे रिस्ट्रिक्शन थे प्राइवेट सेक्टर पे. एवरीथिंग वाज नॉट प्राइवेट. अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स वर ओन्ड बाय गवर्नमेंट. Government would have a lot of rule regulation. They would do a lot of interference. They would do a lot of restriction even on export. इंडिया में मैन्युफैक्चर किया तो भी बाहर बेच रहे हो, उसमें भी restrictions थे. And of course they wanted to give protection to most of the industries over here. But then liberalization happened. तो बच्चे क्या होता है कि 1991 में ये पॉलिसीज बदले गए इंडिया में. The decision was supported by powerful international organizations like the World Trade Organization. Liberalization मतलब क्या होता है? Freedom. So what were we getting freedom from? So 1991 में we basically brought in the policy of LPG. तो देखो 1947 से 1991 is a very long period of time, है ना? 40-45 साल हो गए आज़ादी को. फिर हमें लगा यार now our industries were ready to compete with the other industries. They also needed to improve their quality, which can happen with competition. तो अब हमने हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज ग्रो कर ली है, अब हम बाहर का कंपटीशन आने देंगे. So we went ahead with liberalization, privatization and globalization. Liberalization means freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from the trade barriers. अब कोई custom duties, extra tax, ये सब restrictions, limitations will not be there. People could freely do the trade. Other countries can come and do trading in India. Manufacturers in India can go ahead and do trading in other countries. That is liberalization, giving them the freedom. Privatization means having a private. If you remember, पिछले slide में हमने देखा कि private industries पे बहुत restriction थे. अब हमने बोला कि no more just public manufacturing. अब सिर्फ सरकार manufacture नहीं करेगी. Private individuals with private companies can also go ahead and do manufacturing, trading, and hence will lead to globalization. So this has also played a very important role in globalization. ठीक है. अब ये SEZ का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है ये कल वन शॉट में करवाऊंगी मैं. SEZ वहां पे वैसे भी हम करेंगे, बट लेट मी टेल यू, because now any country can trade with any country and we are only trying to increase the business more and more. What the nations have started doing is, because when other companies from different countries come with a lot of money to nations, it helps the economy of nation build. मान लो कोई अमेरिकन कंपनी, कोई फ्रेंच कंपनी, कोई जर्मन कंपनी इंडिया आती है, and they come with a lot of money to put an office over here. They will they will give employment, they will give salaries to people. They will hire buildings, they will buy buildings. So they're doing investment in Indian country, right? So it will help our economy grow. So a lot of countries want this to happen. They want foreign investment. They want to attract foreign money, foreign people to come and spend money, because it will help me get richer, help me grow financially. And in order to do that, how will you attract them? So you create certain places, जिसे हम SEZ कहते हैं, ठीक है? इन SEZs को वो क्रिएट करते हैं ताकि वो फॉरेन के जो कंपनीज हैं या कंट्रीज के जो लोग हैं वो आए और पैसा इन्वेस्ट करें. SEZs को कैसे आप, व्हाट विल यू डू टू अट्रैक्ट देम? यू टेल देम, हे यू कम हियर 5 years, यू डोंट हैव टू पे मी एनी टैक्स. ठीक है, आई विल गिव यू ब्यूटिफुल प्लेसेस, ब्यूटिफुल बिल्डिंग्स विथ ग्रेट रिक्रिएशनल स्पेसेस, अमेजिंग इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. ठीक है, तो ये वो जोन्स होते हैं जिनको स्पेशली डिजाइन किया जा रहा है. यू विल सी अ लॉट ऑफ special economic zones in countries like in cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, ये सब जगह पे these are whole tech parks, technology parks उन्हें बोला जाता है, जहाँ पे आप देखोगे टैक्सेस बहुत कम होते हैं या 5 साल तक टैक्सेस नहीं देना है, रूल्स रेगुलेशंस इजी होते हैं, रिक्रिएशनल स्पेसेस बने होते हैं, बेटर वाटर सप्लाई, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, ब्यूटीफुल बिल्डिंग्स, ये सब कुछ बनाया जाता है so that a company from outside will get attracted, come and set up their offices. That is what exactly SEZs are. Now then next is, when we were discussing LPG, we said that LPG, hi Pallavi Sharma, good evening. ठीक है, बच्चे बोल दिया आपका नाम, अब खुश हो जाओ. हाय चैलेंजर 31, थैंक यू सो मच, गुड इवनिंग. सो एज आई सेइंग, बच्चे हम बोल रहे थे कि कुछ इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिन्होंने प्रेज किया था एलपीजी के पॉलिसी को. वन ऑफ देम इज वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो इट्स बेसिकली अ नेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, क्योंकि देखो नेशन के बीच में जब ट्रेड हो रहा है तो नेशन की गवर्नमेंट जो है वो रूल्स बनाएगी, बट जब दो देशों के बीच में ट्रेड हो रहा है तो रूल्स कौन बनाएगा? तो इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड को मॉनिटर करने के लिए वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाया गया, जिसके मेंबर्स 164 कंट्रीज हैं. द आइडिया एंड द पर्पस ऑफ दिस WTO इज टू इंकरेज लिबरलाइजेशन इन ट्रेड. फ्री फ्लो ऑफ ट्रेड को मॉनिटर करना, जितनी लिबरलाइजेशन हो, जितनी ग्लोबलाइजेशन हो, ये इनका एम और काम होता है. ठीक है. So on that note, I'm going to quickly end the session. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. with the one shot of this chapter. We have majorly done the entire portion which is going to be asked in your board exams. ठीक है. Amartya, have I? Okay. भाई नहीं दिखा. Oh my God. I can't fight with this. So summary is that it is the process of rapid integration and interconnection of countries. MNCs बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं ग्लोबलाइजेशन में. फैक्टर्स में आपका टेक्नोलॉजी हो जाएगा और पॉलिसीज हो जाएंगी, जिसमें LPG बहुत बड़ा रोल प्ले करता है. ठीक है. तो इसी के साथ वी हैव कम टू द एंड. प्लीज मेक श्योर टू गो एंड चेक आउट योर क्लासेस एंड रजिस्टर योर सेशंस फॉर टुमारो एवरीवन. And do not forget to join us on the Telegram channel. The link and the QR code is given over here. ना सलमान सर का स्टूडियो मैंने बहुत टाइम से ले रखा है, तो अब मैं जल्दी से आपको बाय बोल देती हूँ, बिकॉज ही इज वेटिंग टू स्टार्ट हिज सेशन एंड आई हैव एक्सटेंडेड द सेशन बाय 2-3 minutes. I'll see you guys tomorrow. अमर्त्या, क्या लिखा है तुमने भाई? चैट थोड़ा स्क्रॉल करके देख लेते हैं, किस बात का इतना दुख हो गया है. What happened? क्या हुआ? Oh my God, Amartya, I've answered these questions. So I think it's you whose internet is actually slow and you have not read these. Okay, I told you nothing has happened. I was asking what was your doubt because I couldn't find it in the chat. That's all. So I have not changed. Your internet connection needs to be changed. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye everyone. Have a great evening. Take good care of yourself. Stay tuned. Do not, students on YouTube, do not forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. How did you like the session if you have any doubts? And please make sure everyone to register for session on the app for tomorrow 7 p.m. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night. Stay tuned and keep imbibing. Bye.
Keep imbibing. We believe in you.